The more that you can reduce these whirlwinds, picture hurricanes spinning around on the news, and then they slowly start to dissipate. They're like, good news, it's going from a category 4 to category 3 to a 2 to a 1. That's the idea of what you need to do with your whirlwinds. You have to get them to dissipate. And if you can get these two whirlwinds to dissipate, now they can't create as strong of a headwind blowing back in your face against your goals.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Chris Harder Show, where today I am grateful. I'll tell you what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I'm almost done completing the curation of the 2025 Elite Entrepreneur Mastermind. And when I say curation, that's exactly what it is. I go through so many Zoom interviews with awesome human beings, awesome entrepreneurs, in order to hand pick all the right ones that will help Lori and I deliver on the promise that every single thing that you need in 2025 to grow your business will be in that room or one introduction away. That's literally the Mastermind brand promise. Everything you need that year in 2025 will be in that room or one introduction away. And so this, as you can imagine, takes lots of interviews. And each interview is 45 minutes to an hour. So it takes a ton of my time and energy for a couple of months. I call it mastermind season, but it's worth it. Because then when we have that class, that bond all year, it's amazing. And everybody has what they need in the room because all the right people and all the right personalities are there. So anyways, if you're like, what in the hell is this guy talking about? I share what I'm grateful for at the beginning of all my solo episodes, just so I can lead by example to make you kind of stop and pause and think, oh, what am I grateful for? Because I'm telling you, life is 1,000 times better when you stop and take inventory of what you're grateful for instead of just passing it right by, never acknowledging it. Because if you don't acknowledge it, and if you don't take inventory of what you're grateful for, it's like you don't even have it at all anyways. So then what's all the point? So anyways, that's what I'm grateful for. All right. Today we're going to talk about, speaking of masterminds, a mastermind that I just went to. You see, I practice what I preach. I invest in coaches. I invest in mastermind groups and that type of thing. And I'm in a very special fintech container, if you will. It's more of a coaching program where Bobby, who leads it, he sold $1 billion fintech company, one of the biggest ones out there. They're multiple billions now. And he's still on the board and all that stuff, but he leads it. And it's more of like this high level coaching, consulting type of relationship where we meet, twice a month. But then he pulls us together in person once a year, all of his clients. And that's what I just went to a couple weekends ago. So I practiced what I preach, and I had massive breakthroughs. And one of them was a concept that I wanted to share with you guys. You guys couldn't be in the room, but I wanted to bring one of the most valuable lessons from the room to you. And it was this lesson on how to eliminate headwinds. A headwind, like when you're in an airplane and like, oh, unfortunately, we've got 200-mile-an-hour headwinds on our way, so it's going to add an extra hour, right? That's life. We all have these headwinds that are blowing in our face when we're trying to go somewhere. And it slows us down, or it stops us from getting to our destination, or it burns too much fuel on the way to getting to this destination where you're like, oh, is it even worth it? Well, if you can eliminate a lot of the headwinds, then it's a lot easier. It's smoother sailing. And so we had this great speaker. He was a renowned efficiency expert. And I don't have his name on the tip of my tongue. I apologize. We can throw it in show notes. But he spoke and introduced us to this concept of whirlwinds and the fact that there are two whirlwinds that are swirling around in your life. And these whirlwinds come together to create headwinds. And these headwinds are what slow you down or stop you from getting to your destination. These headwinds are what blow back against your pursuit of goals. Now, remember, I said there's two whirlwinds that create the headwinds. Picture like, when you see hurricanes coming on the news and they show it spinning around, spinning around, spinning around. Picture that as like a whirlwind. And the two whirlwinds are your personal whirlwinds and your business whirlwinds. And these whirlwinds are just the storms of stuff that has to be done in order to keep things going. So they're not even productive. They keep the train on the tracks, they keep life going, they keep the business running, but they don't actually move anything forward. They're not productive. They just keep the machine of life and the machine of business ticking. And here's the crux. Unfortunately, everything in these whirlwinds are usually necessary. There's a couple things you can eliminate, but for the most part, everything in your personal whirlwind and everything in your business whirlwind are necessary things that have to get done. So let me break this down further for you. For your personal whirlwinds, it includes things like getting the kids to school or getting your health routines in, shopping and laundry and errands or repairs and maintenance around the home. Heck, mowing the lawn every single week if you do that. Those are personal whirlwinds. These are things that have to get done. You can't not get the kids to school. You can't not take care of your yard. You can't not run errands and get things done, right? So they have to be done, but they absolutely push back against any real personal goals that you have. And then for the business whirlwinds, there are things like HR issues and employee management and hiring and firing and accounting and cash flow analysis and tax season and meetings about meetings and marketing plans and fulfillment of your product. My God, the list goes on and on and on. And again, these are things that have to get done. It's not that these are just things that popped up in your life that they're there for no reason. You don't have a business that runs if you don't do these things. And so these are necessary whirlwinds swirling around, coming together like a megastorm, blowing against any real goals that you actually want to achieve. Now, the concept becomes this. The more that you can reduce these whirlwinds, and again, like I said, picture hurricanes spinning around on the news, and then they slowly start to dissipate. They're like, good news, it's going from a category 4 to category 3 to a 2 to a 1. That's the concept. That's the idea of what you need to do with your whirlwinds. You have to get them to dissipate. And if you can get these two whirlwinds to dissipate, now they can't create as strong of a headwind blowing back in your face against your goals. So that you can really start to have the energy, have the fuel, have the time to get things done that you want to do. The more that you can reduce these whirlwinds, the more you have time for exciting things like new product creation or product innovation, or for brand new viral marketing ideas, or for plotting a plan to 10x your goals instead of just growing by 5 or 10% another year. Heck, the more that you can reduce these whirlwinds, the more you have time for real money making ideas. And on the personal side, the more that you reduce these whirlwinds, the more you have time for vacations, or at least time for weekends off with your family. Instead of doing laundry and yard work and maintenance and errands and all this other stuff, you could be going to the park, you could be going to Disney, you could be going to whatever and having great weekends, or heaven forbid, an entire day off in the middle of the week. Why do we have to just do a 5-day work week, 5 days in a row, the way society says? You don't have to if you can reduce and get control over these whirlwinds. And if you can reduce these whirlwinds on the personal side, then you've got time for happiness goals, like learning something new or starting a new hobby. I'll share an example. This is where my breakthrough came in. I'll share an example of my own life. That was a wake-up call when I was at this mastermind doing this exercise. So he's up there speaking about these whirlwinds and it creates headwinds. And he said, okay, we're going to do an exercise. And we did this exercise where first we wrote down all of the personal whirlwinds that we have going on daily. Remember, I already mentioned those things, right? Personal whirlwinds are errands, shopping, laundry, getting the kids to school, repairs around the house, whatever it might be. Then we wrote down all of the business whirlwinds that we have going on. And I looked at this list, and of course we're busy. I was like, oh my God, I am definitely overwhelmed. on both the personal side and on the business side. Now, the third thing he had us write down, he said, I want you to write down anything that you're pursuing that is purely for fun, purely for joy, and purely for happiness. Anything big that you're pursuing purely for those things personally. And while I do a lot of cool, happy things, I actually didn't have anything to write down. And that's where the breakthrough came. I was like, holy shit, I'm not pursuing a single hobby. I'm not learning a single new thing right now. I'm not doing anything that I can write down on this third part of the list that he asked us to, which was things that we're doing for ourselves for pure joy and nothing else. And that was a wake-up call. That was like my moment where I said, holy shit, I need to create time for this. I need to clean up my personal whirlwinds and my business whirlwinds so I can create time for this. And as you guessed, the next part of the exercise was doing exactly that. Going back to the personal and business whirlwind list and aggressively scrapping, delegating, quitting, trading out, reducing everything that we could on those lists. That means if it has to get done, someone else has to do it, or it has to be a more efficient way of doing it. If you're going grocery shopping right now, then time to find the app that'll do the grocery shopping for you, things like that. And when I was done, I was shocked at how much time I personally was wasting doing things personally and doing things on the business side. Because quite honestly, I thought I was really good at delegation. And I was shocked because I thought I was already really good at only doing the necessary stuff. Like I pride myself on, look how much I'm getting done. And I'm really moving the ball down the field. And the fact that I was shocked at how many things I could yet eliminate shows you the power of doing something like this. Matter of fact, it shows you the power of a mastermind. Because I wouldn't have done this exercise on my own. I wouldn't have stopped and paused for a weekend and thought outside the box, looking in on my life, doing exercises like this. I left there with some awesome and surprisingly easy improvements that I could make to reduce my own whirlwinds in life and in business and free up more space so that I could actually get back to learning something new again or having a hobby again, like finding an actual passion. And that really excites me because there's so many things I want to do. Like I've wanted to go back to race car school and take it seriously. I've wanted to learn how to play the piano. I could when I was a kid and I've forgotten everything as an adult. Lori and I used to ballroom dance to the point where we did competitions. There's so many things in life that I want to learn and make time for. And I keep kicking the can down the road when actually there is time for them if we stop and eliminate the things in our personal whirlwinds and in our business whirlwinds so that we have less collective headwinds. In fact, I'd love to hear what yours are. I love when you guys DM me at the end of these episodes or when you stop and think about it. I love when you guys DM me, hey, here's the whirlwinds I'm cleaning up. And here's the goal or the hobby or the happiness thing that I'm going to stick there in place with this newfound time. So DM me. I'd love to hear that. And remember, if you guys want to do exercises like this at a very high level with high level performing peers, we've got basically at the time of recording this, we've got room for one more couple or set of business partners in the mastermind or 2 individuals. That's it. 2025 filled up at record speed. And we kick off February 18th. So if you want a shot at getting in that room, and if you earn more than 500 grand in your business, most businesses are 7 and 8 figure businesses in there. But if you earn over 500 grand, then right now hit stop on this recording and go right to chrisharder.me/mastermind and click apply so we can jump on Zoom and see if it's a perfect fit for you. Again, that is chrisharder.me/mastermind, chrisharder.me/mastermind, click apply. And we'll jump on Zoom to see if it's a good fit for you once I get your application. All right, guys, thanks for listening. And don't forget, DM me what parts of your whirlwinds you're cleaning up and what new hobbies and acts of joy that'll bring in for you. Thanks for listening. Always love and appreciate you.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review
and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.